All right, so are you ready for this? We are diving deep into this recent interview with Sam Altman,
Oh, yeah.
the CEO of OpenAI.
I'm ready.
Craig Cannon interviewed him for Y Combinator,
Mm-hmm.
and it is packed with insights about AI and what it all means for entrepreneurs, especially for someone like you who's on top of this stuff.
Yeah. One of the things that really stood out to me was how Altman connects the rapid advancement of AI with something that he calls the age of abundance.
Okay, wait, stop right there.
Yeah.
Age of abundance.
Age of abundance.
That's a big one. I mean, it sounds super idealistic,
Right.
but like, how does he actually see that playing out?
So he argues that AGI, artificial general intelligence, is going to be the driving force behind this.
Okay.
And he doesn't think that AGI is some far-off sci-fi concept.
Right.
He believes that we're only thousands of days away from it.
Thousands of days.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
It's a bold statement.
I know things are moving fast, but that's a pretty bold statement.
It is, but
He must have some serious reasons for thinking that, right?
he does. He points to the incredible, almost exponential rate of progress that we've seen in AI,
Yeah.
particularly at OpenAI.
Mm-hmm.
Remember those early language models?
Yeah.
They were impressive for their time, but ChatGPT and the things coming out now,
Right.
it's clear that we've unlocked a new level of learning and reasoning in these systems.
Right. But even if we're on the fast track to AGI,
Yeah.
are we really talking about solving climate change,
Oh, no.
colonizing space, all of that?
Yeah.
I mean, it seems a bit grand even for Altman.
It does, but what's interesting is how he ties those grand ideas back to his advice for entrepreneurs.
Oh, okay.
He believes that this abundance of energy driven by AGI
Mm-hmm.
is going to create completely new markets and opportunities.
Okay.
He sees it as a fundamental shift that will impact what kinds of businesses thrive.
So it's not just about spaceships and clean energy.
Right.
It's about understanding like the underlying change
Yeah.
and being ready to build for that new world.
Exactly. He's saying, hey, this is coming, whether we like it or not, so let's get ahead of it and figure out how to make it work for us.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now, I know OpenAI has been at the forefront of this AI revolution,
Oh,
but
hey.
they didn't just appear out of nowhere, right?
No, they didn't.
They've had quite a journey.
Oh, definitely. And it wasn't always easy.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that Altman and his team faced a ton of pushback in those early days.
Really?
Their whole approach to deep learning and scaling
Mm-hmm.
was considered almost radical, even dangerous by some.
So the stuff that's considered groundbreaking now was once seen as a dead end.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's wild how quickly things change in this field.
It really is.
But like, what gave them the confidence to stick with it when so many experts were doubting them?
Well, Altman has this great saying,
Okay.
conviction is great until the moment you have data one way or the other. So they had strong beliefs,
Yeah.
but they were also incredibly data-driven. They were constantly testing, iterating, and letting the results guide them.
So it's a mix of bold vision
Yeah,
and cold, hard data.
exactly.
That's a pretty powerful combination.
It is.
And he thinks that this is where startups have a real edge in the AI age.
Yeah.
He says that big companies with all their bureaucracy are slower to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
Startups can move faster, experiment more, and ultimately stay ahead of the curve.
That's right.
So basically, the uncertainty around AI actually creates a huge opportunity for startups that
Yeah.
can move fast and embrace the chaos.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it.
That's music to the ears of many entrepreneurs listening right now.
For sure. And Altman's advice is basically bet on this tech trend, build something with AI. He thinks people are still massively underestimating AI's potential.
All right, so we've got this incredible potential,
Yeah,
but we also need to be smart and strategic about how we approach it,
right.
especially if we want to build something lasting. I noticed Altman also talked about the importance of finding the right people,
Yeah.
the right peer group,
Mhm.
especially early on.
It's interesting, isn't it? Both he and Craig Cannon, the interviewer, actually reflected on their time at Stanford.
Oh, wow.
They were surrounded by brilliant minds,
Yeah.
but they both felt that their peer groups had the most impact on their growth.
Yeah, he even admitted that he initially thought he could just go it alone,
Uh-huh.
but realized later how crucial those supportive relationships were.
Yeah.
You know, it makes you wonder,
Yeah.
how can we as entrepreneurs intentionally build those networks?
Right.
Where do we find those people who challenge us, support us, and push us to be better?
It's a great question, and it's something to think about for sure.
But back to OpenAI's journey from research lab to the launch of ChatGPT.
Yeah.
They've come a long way.
A long way.
I'm curious about those early days. Like, what was the original vision?
So Altman shared that he was inspired by those legendary research labs like Xerox PRs and Bell Labs. He wanted to create a space where brilliant minds could just explore the frontiers of AI without being bogged down by business stuff.
Sounds like a researcher's dream.
It does, right?
But realistically, even with all that talent and funding, starting a company like that must have been a wild ride.
Oh, absolutely.
I bet.
He actually told this funny story about their very first brainstorming session after getting funding.
Okay.
They were all in Greg Brockman's apartment.
Wow.
This dream team of AI minds.
Uh-huh.
And then this awkward silence.
Oh, no.
Like, okay, what do we do now?
So even with this grand vision,
Yeah.
there's still that classic startup moment of now what?
Exactly. It just goes to show that even the most successful ventures have those moments of uncertainty, those pivot or perish moments.
Speaking of unexpected turns, the rise of language models was a pretty big one, wasn't it?
It was.
They weren't initially the main focus,
Right.
but they ended up becoming a major driving force.
It really is remarkable. And it all started with this seemingly small but incredibly significant discovery by one of their researchers, Alec Radford.
Oh, okay, I'm all ears.
He was working on a model to generate Amazon reviews, and he noticed something really peculiar.
What did he find?
He observed that a single neuron in the model was consistently flipping between positive and negative sentiment. It was a tiny detail, but it hinted at something huge.
Okay.
The model was starting to grasp the nuances of human language and emotion.
Wow. So this tiny neuron was like the seed of what would become the GPT series
Pretty much, yeah.
and everything that's come after.
It really is.
Talk about a butterfly effect.
It really is. And it just shows how important it is to pay attention to the details, to those seemingly small discoveries that can actually lead to massive breakthroughs.
And speaking of massive breakthroughs, ChatGPT was a game changer.
Absolutely.
I mean, it felt like it exploded overnight.
Yeah, it really captured the world's attention.
It's amazing to think about how much has changed in such a short amount of time.
It really is.
And the craziest part is we're still in the early stages of all this.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It feels like we're just getting started.
Yeah.
To really understand where things might go, it's helpful to look at how OpenAI thinks about the stages of AGI development.
Okay.
They have this internal framework with 5 levels each, representing a major leap in capability.
Okay, let's break it down. What are these levels and where do we stand now?
So level 1 is where we started chatbots. Basic conversation, limited abilities.
Okay.
Level 2 is where it gets more interesting reasoners. Think problem-solving logic, even creative text formats like poems or code.
So with ChatGPT and Delay and all that, we've basically gone from level 1 to level 2.
Yeah.
We're already seeing AI systems that can reason and create in ways that we never thought possible.
Right.
So what's next?
So level 3 is where things get really interesting. We're talking about agents.
Okay.
These are AI systems that can interact with the real world.
Okay.
Not just through language, but through actions. Imagine an AI that can manage your schedule, book travel,
Wow.
even help run your business.
That's starting to sound like the AI assistants we've seen in movies.
It is right.
But wouldn't that require a whole other level of sophistication
Totally.
and safety?
Yes.
Like letting AI loose in the real world?
Right.
That's a whole different ballgame.
Totally. And that's a major challenge that OpenAI and others are grappling with. Building AI that's capable is one thing, but making sure that it's reliable, ethical, and safe is just as crucial,
Yeah.
especially if it's going to be interacting with the real world.
It's a good reminder that this isn't just about pushing technology forward. It's about making sure these advancements are actually good for humanity.
For sure.
Good point.
And that brings us to level 4 innovators.
Oh, okay.
These are AI systems that go beyond just solving problems. They can come up with new ideas, inventions, solutions that humans haven't even thought of.
Okay. Now that's just mind-blowing, AI systems inventing things.
Yeah.
Is that even possible?
Well, remember that YC hackathon where a team used AI to design an airfoil that actually achieved lift.
Yeah.
They essentially created an AI design tool that iterated until it got it right.
Right. It was incredible.
That's just one example. We're already seeing glimpses of AI's potential to drive innovation across so many fields.
It's exciting.
It is.
But it's also kind of scary, right?
Yeah.
If AI can invent, what does that mean for human creativity?
Right.
Will we become obsolete?
The question that a lot of people are asking.
Yeah.
But Altman has a more optimistic view.
Okay.
He believes that AI will augment human creativity, not replace it.
Okay.
He sees a future where these tools actually empower us to reach new levels of innovation.
That's a much more hopeful way to look at it. So instead of fearing AI, we can see it as a partner.
Yeah.
Something that can help us expand our creative horizons.
Exactly.
Okay, so...
And finally, we come to the most mysterious level, level 5.
Ooh, level 5.
Altman describes it as something beyond.
What?
It's a level of AI that's almost impossible for us to understand right now.
So level 5 is basically the unknown frontier, the realm of AI that we can only speculate about.
You got it.
Okay.
It represents the potential for AI to not just match, but surpass human intelligence in ways we can't even fathom yet.
It's exhilarating.
Yeah.
And a little bit terrifying all at the same time.
It is.
The possibilities are endless.
Right.
But so are the unknowns.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this whole thing so fascinating.
Yeah.
We're on the edge of a technological revolution that could fundamentally reshape our world. The question is, how will we navigate this uncharted territory?
Yeah.
And what kind of future will we create together?
Big questions.
Big questions.
All right. So it really does feel like we're standing at the edge of something massive. But even with all this talk of AGI and a whole new world, Altman doesn't shy away from giving some cautionary advice.
It's almost surprising. You'd think he'd be all gung-ho telling everyone to just go all in on AI ventures. But he's actually quite grounded in his advice, especially when he's talking to entrepreneurs.
So what's the catch? What does he warn against?
Well, he's really adamant that even with all of this crazy AI potential, the fundamental principles of building a business still apply.
Okay.
You can't just slap an AI-powered label on something and expect it to magically succeed.
So he's saying don't get blinded by the shiny new tech.
Right.
You still need a solid foundation, a real product or service, and a clear understanding of the market.
Exactly. He calls it the magic technology fallacy.
Okay.
He's seen it happen time and time again. Entrepreneurs get so caught up in the hype that they forget the basics of building something sustainable.
It's a good reminder for all of us, even those of us not building the next big AI startup.
Yeah.
Technology is a tool. It can be incredibly powerful, but it's still up to us to use it effectively.
I think that's a great point. And it leads to something that Altman mentioned about OpenAI's own journey.
Okay.
It turns out that their original vision for the company was actually quite different from what it is today.
Oh, really? I'm super curious about that. What did they originally set out to do?
Well, in the beginning, Altman was really inspired by those legendary research labs we talked about earlier. He wanted to create a pure research environment, a place where the brightest minds could explore AI without worrying about turning a profit.
So it was more about pushing the boundaries of knowledge than building products and making money.
Exactly. But as they went deeper, they realized the path to AGI wasn't so straightforward.
Right.
They had to pivot, adapt, and make some tough decisions about the direction of the company.
Yeah.
It sounds like there were a lot of those what do we do now moments.
Which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
They were venturing into uncharted territory. They had a vision, but they also had to be flexible and adapt based on what they were learning along the way.
That's a key takeaway for anyone listening. It's great to have a bold vision, but you also need to be willing to adjust course when the data tells you to.
Totally agree. Sticking to a plan that's not working is a recipe for disaster. Now, speaking of pivoting and adapting, one of the things that has always fascinated me about OpenAI is their early focus on scaling. They were one of the first to really believe in the power of scaling up deep learning models. It seems so obvious now,
Right?
but back then a lot of people thought they were crazy.
Oh, absolutely. Altman described it as a religious level of belief in scaling. They saw firsthand how increasing the size and complexity of their models led to significant jumps in performance, and they were convinced that this was the key to unlocking AI's true potential.
And it turns out they were right. The progress we've seen in recent years is largely due to our ability to train these massive models on mountains of data. It wouldn't be possible without the kind of scale that OpenAI and others have achieved. It's pretty mind-boggling when you think about it.
Right. It sparked an incredible arms race with companies and research labs all over the world trying to build bigger and more powerful AI systems. It's a really exciting time to be following this field.
Totally agree. Now, all this talk about scale makes me think about the sheer amount of computing power that OpenAI uses to train their models. I mean, we're talking thousands of GPUs running for weeks, sometimes months on end. That's got to be expensive.
It is. The computational resources required for AI research these days are immense. It's actually a major barrier to entry for many startups and smaller research teams.
That's a good point. It highlights the importance of collaboration and partnerships in the AI space. It's clear that no single company or institution can go it alone. We need to be sharing knowledge, resources, and expertise if we want to continue pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
I completely agree. The advancements we've seen in AI are the result of a global effort, a collective push by brilliant minds all over the world.
Well said. Okay, so far in our deep dive, we've covered a lot of ground. We've talked about the rapid pace of advancement, the potential for an age of abundance, the importance of conviction and adaptability, the crucial role of scaling, and even OpenAI's own evolution as a company. But there's one more thing I want to touch on before we wrap up. Towards the end of the interview, Altman mentions his excitement about using AI to solve all of physics.
Yeah, that was a particularly intriguing point. It speaks to a whole other level of AI potential, not just transforming industries or solving practical problems, but actually pushing the very boundaries of human knowledge.
It's a pretty wild idea, right? What if we could use AI to unlock the secrets of the universe, to make fundamental scientific breakthroughs that we never thought possible?
It's mind-blowing. Imagine a future where algorithms, not just human intuition, are driving major scientific discoveries. It challenges us to rethink the very nature of discovery and the limits of our own understanding.
It really makes you wonder if we can use AI to solve the mysteries of the universe. What other seemingly impossible problems might we tackle? What are the limits of what we can achieve with this technology?
It really does kind of open up like a whole new world of possibilities, right?
It really does. I mean, what if AI's greatest contribution isn't just, solving scientific mysteries,
Right.
but it's helping us understand our own place in the universe?
Yeah.
What if it helps us unlock the secrets of consciousness,
Right.
creativity, the very nature of intelligence itself?
Now, that's a really thought-provoking idea.
Isn't it?
It suggests that AI might not just be a tool for solving like these external problems, but also like a way to understand ourselves better.
Yeah.
Almost like a mirror reflecting back our own humanity.
Exactly. It could change how we view the world and our role in it. This whole conversation has been a wild ride, hasn't it?
Totally. And honestly, I think it reflects the reality of where we are right now. We're not just in a technological revolution, we're in a revolution of thought. The way we approach problems or relationship with knowledge itself, it's all changing.
It's a pretty incredible time to be alive, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. The future is full of unknowns.
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure, AI is here to stay.
Right.
And the choices that we make now, how we develop and use this technology, it's going to have a huge impact on the world for generations to come.
So for our listeners out there, the entrepreneurs, the innovators, the ones who are eager to dive into this world of AI, what would you say is the key takeaway from all of this?
Well, Altman's advice is pretty clear. Embrace this technology, experiment with it. Don't be afraid to push the boundaries. But he also emphasizes the importance of grounding your ambitions in those solid business principles.
Okay.
Focus on creating real value. Don't fall into that trap of thinking that AI is a magic solution. It's a tool, a powerful one. They're still a tool.
Right. It's about finding that sweet spot between having that bold vision and knowing how to execute it.
Yeah.
It's about understanding AI's potential.
Right.
While also remembering the importance of human creativity and responsibility.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And as we move forward into this uncharted territory, let's remember to approach AI with a sense of curiosity, a commitment to doing things the right way, and a deep appreciation for the impact it can have on our world.
Well said. Well, folks, it's time for us to surface from this deep dive into Sam Altman's world. But before we go, I want to leave you with this effort. Altman's excited about using AI to solve all of physics. But what if AI's ultimate purpose is to help us understand our place within that very universe it's helping us decipher?
Wow, that's a really powerful thought to leave our listeners with.
Right.
It makes you wonder if AI might not just be a tool for solving those external problems, but also a key to unlocking a deeper understanding of ourselves.
Exactly. And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder that. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Until next time.